that's not a fear that we have in this organization. This is going to be amazing. To see our product around the world pushed by you and your downlines, getting into the hands of the consumers, we're very excited. Thank you. Michael mentioned a platform, and what we've designed really is a platform. We need to stop thinking about it like just a website. It's a platform. And it's a platform that is designed solely to be the best cashback experience for our customers. As part of that platform design, the tech team, we had kind of 6 major driving goals that we had to make sure we were able to hit, or else it wouldn't really matter. So I'm going to go over a few of those, but then we're really going to get to see some of the fun functionality that's coming down the pipeline. One of the biggest things that we needed to make sure we had to be competitive and to win is speed. The new platform is about 100 times faster than any of the other sites, including OMINTO. It'll be faster for you no matter where you are in the world. And that's the other fun part. Part of this global company that we have requires that it feel good and it feel fast, no matter what device you are, no matter the strength of your internet quality, mobile phone, laptop, doesn't matter. To do that, there's a lot of fun technology that we have to use. And forgive me if I get too geeky or technology here. We have a global content distribution network. That's a partner we have called Cloudflare. They have servers across the world. They've done the legwork to get the fastest bandwidth to their servers, to get the fastest and best experience, no matter where you are browsing. Our content will be stored and cached in their edge servers around the world, so that if you are in India, or if you are over here in the Middle East, or if you're in Europe, you're not making a request to some server over in Florida. You're making a request to a server very close to you, optimized for speed, storing those images, and getting you that snappy page load. On this slide, we were debating, showing kind of some of the page numbers, how fast they load. And we ran into the problem that most people don't understand how fast 100 milliseconds is. Right? They see 100, they think that's a big number. That's our average page load time on our test environment right now. We have a bunch of fun technologies that are kind of new, and only in the recent last little bit have we been able to achieve these. Amazon Web Services, what they've done with the servers and the virtualization, allow entire new patterns of design for websites. So for a lot of our system, we actually have what's called a serverless infrastructure. There's no server that's getting talked to that has to do any work to load a page for you. That's done ahead of time. Pre-compilation is a big deal. Localizing the content is part of the personalization initiative to make sure the content that your people see is localized to them. Both local deals that are applicable, merchants that are applicable, as well as translated. And all of this is powered by some of the, like this new technology that Amazon's been working really hard, and we're working really hard to put it into practice and to take advantage of it. One of the other biggest goals that we have with the tech team that we've been keeping present is the reach. The amount of people that we can affect in a positive fashion, the amount of people that we can help save money on their normal shopping experiences. Part of that reach means we have to stop focusing quite so much, like Michael mentioned, all these new local malls. The team had to focus more on being global. So through some of the partnerships, we can take over 191 different currencies right now. We will continually be adding additional mechanisms both to take money from our customers that purchase the IP, but as well as to give the customers their cash back. In every region where we target, we'll find the best mechanisms that are most respected and utilized by those people. The system has been designed to be translated from the ground up. Translation is a first-class citizen of the system. And we have strong translation partners that will help us get the site quickly translated into over, I think, 53 languages by the end of the year. Already, and that's only growing. The platform, again, has been designed to work with Samantha and her team to bring on merchants with an ease that we've never had before. To bring on not only the merchant, but their coupons, their deals, and their products. Bringing all of that into the system and exposing to the customers. One other large thing, the third, is consistency. The platform is no good if it's only fast for a couple of us. It's no good if it only gives personalized merchants to a few of us. Keeping a consistent experience across all of the users and across all of the devices, which we'll be talking about is important. And I just want you to know that the team has been working very hard on this regard. Tyler is one of our testers and coders who keeps the rest of us in shape. To that end, we've got tens of thousands of lines of tests. And every time we make a change to the code, it runs an entire test suite on virtualized servers before it ever gets to our servers. That gives us something that's called continuous integration and continuous delivery. So rather than a feature being done and having to sit and wait for months to be tested by a group of external testers, we'll know. And we'll know that it's not going to negatively affect the experience that you already have. This ability to consistently and continually add new features to the product is part of the biggest drive here. So that we don't just launch the product that you're going to see today. This is the beginning. This is the seed of what the product will be. Another large concern. Again, we deal with shopping data. We deal with people's experience. And part of the problem is we have to gather their confidence before they will really use us to shop. So to that note, we've made sure that we have some of the most secure systems that you can get at the moment. And we will be continually revising that to make sure we stay ahead of the curve. There won't be any data breaches as long as we can prevent them. To that end, 100% of the pages will be stored over HTTPS. And this is a very technologically geeky aside, but getting that page load speed that I mentioned of 100 milliseconds over HTTPS is quite difficult. And we're quite proud of that. So, and then maybe a few of you might have we're using banking military-grade encryption wherever possible in the system. We have a web application firewall that prevents intrusion attempts or hacking attempts on the website. Cloudflare, as I mentioned, is not only our content distribution network, but they also serve to help us prevent DDoS attacks or distributed denial of service. When someone wants to take down our system, they're going to have a far harder time doing it. We have what's called level 7 protection of DDoS. That means they're really going to have to throw the power of a small country at us in order for our servers to do this. And again, I usually you all push enough customers at us that it's essentially the same thing. And again, we won't notice. The product needed to be focused, the platform needs to be focused. And when I say focused, I mean, again, what I mentioned, this needs to be the best cashback experience that your customers can find around the web. It's an interesting challenge because the merchants often give their APIs and their affiliate networks relations to whoever asks for them. So it's an interesting level playing field. So we will beat and continually beat other people who could have access to the same merchants as we do. And we will do that by retaining our focus on being the best cashback experience, the best shopping companion for customers around the world. And the product needs to be easy. Customers already have enough of a problem figuring out if they can shop online, shipping, which credit card they're going to put it on, does PayPal work in my country. These are problems that they're already working through. How to get cash back on their purchases needs to be something that is not a problem. It's not a question. It's not difficult. And the ease of the product, the platform that we've created, supports some very unique and powerful experiences. And we're going to be talking about a few of the experiences. The mobile, as you can see there. The web experience, we'll talk about a few more. To do that, though, I would very much like to introduce my colleague, Kirk Strobeck. He is our senior UX, which is the user experience. And he's going to walk you through some of the things that we've done to make sure that this experience is a pleasure and an ease for your customers.
Well, thanks for that introduction, Nick, and thank you so much for covering the amazing details of the technology infrastructure that we have. I have the great pleasure of getting to work on that infrastructure. The great pleasure of saying, hey, the security is taken care of, the speed is taken care of, we're delivering in every language. Now let's make it amazing. So, I've been a UX lead at several companies, and then I came to DubLi, and it was like, this is great. I get to, approach some of the problems that we have with cashback, approach some of the, interesting, ways that a person goes about getting their cashback. And so I wanted to start at the top, right? I wanted to start, okay, let's think user experience. Let's think, where does that begin? Well, first off, it begins with basically two components, right? You've got a person, and then you've got a merchant, right? Let's use Expedia as an example merchant. So that's That's a one-to-one relationship. That's what the person is used to. The person is used to going to the store or shopping online and getting that product, right? Now, the challenge begins with any cashback website that you're introducing a third party into that equation. So it's no longer just you and Expedia, right? It's actually that you are going shopping your favorite brands on DubLi. And then what we're doing is we're really rolling out the red carpet for you with that merchant. We're telling them, hey, get this person extra cash back. Get this person a great deal because they're with us, right? So we're introducing that third party into the equation. This is what we call first-tier education, okay? So with first-tier education, we're basically meeting the user wherever they're at. If they're unfamiliar with the concept of cashback, that's where we're starting with them. So this is important from the user experience side, that we're beginning from the start. Then I want to cover what we call Tier 2 education, right? So once you tell a person, hey, it's not just you and the merchant any longer, it's you, DubLi, and the merchant, right? Then we get into Tier 2 education. If a person understands Tier 1 education, the second place they go to is, yeah, I get it, but how does that work? How is that even possible that I'm actually leaving money on the table, that there's extra money in that transaction, that I can get more cash back? How is that possible? Then we present something along these lines to them, right? The companies have two choices when they spend on marketing. They can either take a shot in the dark with advertising, or they can give it to you. And what we've done is we've gone alongside all of these merchants, and we've made that connection, and we're sharing that with you, right? So you have two choices, right? You can either not get cash back, or you can get cash back. And so once we get into Tier 2 education, people start to get it, right? That's when people start to make that application of, okay, there's no gimmick involved. This is legitimate, real cash back. It's scalable, and I can use it for all my purchases. So what does that mean? Well, what that means is that it's all about the merchant, right? So we began with that customer and Expedia or merchant relationship, customer, merchant. So what that means is the more we stay out of the way of that process, the more we lower the friction between getting a customer related to the merchant, the more that we win, right? The more that people shop, the more that people get cash back, the more we get commissions, which means more money. So I wanted to start by showing you a little bit how we're going to be showing merchants on the website. We've got an element that we call a merchant card, and I'll show you what a merchant card looks like. This is basically what a merchant card looks like. What you've got is a component relationship here. So you've got, in this case, the logo, and then we go into the title, we go into the amount of cash back, and I did want to mention to everyone, all of these screens that you'll be seeing are simply examples, right? So don't read the cashback numbers because they're not meaningful right now. What's meaningful is the design and the experience. These are just examples. You have the ability to favorite a merchant right off the bat, or to share any of these tools, right? All of the new social media that's out there, you'll have share tools for that. You have the ability to dive directly into deals. And we will actually be spinning up blog articles specific to individual merchants. We'll be referencing merchants in those articles. And so basically you'll have more power with the engagement, right? So it's not just about the merchant, but now we're also addressing the story behind what you can do with that merchant. So here's an example of how versatile merchant cards are, right? So we can shrink them down to one or two components, or we can even add more components. This is an example of adding product photography within the merchant card, right? So you see some of how we can prioritize some merchants and deprioritize others. How we can say, this experience is more about just showing the logo, right? Or this experience is more about showing some details with some deals. So I wanted to cover what you do with a merchant card, right? We're all familiar with this. You click into the merchant. This is what we call a merchant detail page. So I'm about to show you what the new merchant detail page looks like. So this is an example of what Nautica would look like, right? So you've got the cash back right across the top, right? There's no need to look around for it. It's right there, as well as all the exceptions to that cash back. So that way there's no miscommunication about what you get that cash back on. And All of our customers will be completely dialed into, okay, I know I can get the cash back, I know I'm committed to buying. And then it's important, this line here, everything below comes with the same above cash back, right? So all of the deals, all of the coupons come with that cash back at the top, right? So you're stacking your savings. And so in this example, you see just two deals. You see a deal and a coupon, but we'll have many deals and many coupons, and we'll be sourcing all sorts of different points of data to get all of those deals and coupons. Also, you can see off to the side, we've got the description, and we'll have other metadata. You may have heard that term, metadata. What that really means is great SEO. And what great SEO means is that when a person is searching for that merchant, we're showing up in those search results. We're getting those people cash back. We're getting those savings. We're getting those commissions. What a person does from the merchant detail page or from the merchant card, obviously, is they outclick to the merchant. And we really wanted to focus, right? That is really where the magic begins, is when a person outclicks to the merchant. So we really wanted to focus on what that will be like. So we're introducing this modal here. And this modal is on your way out, right? So again, like I talked about that education, we're going to be meeting the user where they're at. So if a person is not familiar with how cashback works in every way, this modal will introduce them to the fact that, hey, you're on the right path. You're doing cashback the right way. It's not that complicated. You click out to the merchant, you buy some stuff, you get cash back. And we're also introducing another modal, and that modal will be that once that new window pops open, right, and you start to do your shopping there, this modal will change in the background, right? So when you close that other window, maybe to Expedia, you close that window, and all of a sudden, you've got a feedback form, right? So you can rate that merchant with a 5-star, you can give a description of what you did, you can enter your order number to help us track your cashback better. All sorts of things. So we're not only engaging you on the way out, but we're engaging you on the way back to the site. I wanted to quickly address some of the ways that we'll be contacting people, right? So any medium is going to be a contact medium for us. If you authenticated via Facebook, we'll reach out to you via Facebook. Nobody's doing this right now. We'll be sending actual messages through Facebook profile. With Twitter, we'll be doing the same. With email, we'll be doing the same. However you meet us, we'll meet you with that same medium. And we'll have all of the preferences and details for you to be able to set your privacy and your notification controls with very high precision. Because we want to respect our user and we want to put them in the driver's seat. I also wanted to talk about sharing, right? Sharing's great. We have done major steps to make sharing a part of everything in the new site, right? So every step along the journey is something that is a shareable experience, right? So you're not in the dark and your friends aren't in the dark. You can now share those experiences and let people know the merchants you're shopping at, the cashback you're getting, and the other points along the way. What this means is more engagement for you to your customers. What it means is more engagement for your customers to their friends. It just means simply more buzz, more volume, and more being shared about DubLi. I wanted to cover something else that's incredibly exciting. In every detail of the site, we have gone to great lengths to do knitting. We've sewn deep into every aspect of the site personalization. So the experience that you get is not necessarily the experience that someone else gets. Every experience on the site is completely unique because it's driven through our algorithm of personalization. That's right, we've got an algorithm. So, very exciting, very exciting. I also wanted to cover what some of our landing pages and collections look like. Right, so when you take that merchant detail and you put it on that merchant card, what does it look like when those cards are together? And hey, Kirk, what does our new homepage look like? I've got it for you. Here it is. So this is a look at our new homepage. So just to cover a bit of the way a user would approach this, first what they're going to see is that then the eye will track across the page. And as it tracks across the page, instantly you're greeted with a testimonial about what that person used with their cashback, right? In this case, the person likes to travel. So she's saying, I saved so much, I was able to take a vacation, right? So it's a great testimonial. They've also got their name there with details about how much cashback they've gotten. And then a huge call to action and start saving today. Once the person sees start saving today, they say, hey, well, I'm still skeptical. Well, look at that. We've got our 5-star merchants right there. And then not only our 5-star merchants, but below the fold, or not below the fold, but below that top photo, this is all the above the fold experience. But below that top photo, we've got the 5-star merchants, right? Or the 5-star deals, right? So you're making that 5-star merchants at the top and the 5-star deal association, and you're saying, wow, I kind of see the places I could shop. I know those logos, and I see the kind of deals I can get. Those are amazing deals. So that just covers a bit of what the homepage will look like. And this is, again, for the new user coming to the site. I wanted to show you as well what a collection would look like. And this is when we put merchant cards together. A collection is something like an event, like Happy New Year's, right? Something that's maybe a national holiday. I don't mean a DubLi event. I mean just like a normal national holiday, Happy New Year's, etc. Whatever it may be. And as Nick mentioned before, we're in all these countries, we're in all these languages, so we'll be localizing these events to you. This list of merchants that you see here is personalized, right? So we've sewn that personalization engine into every aspect of the site, so the merchants that you see will be different for you, right? They'll be sorted in a different order, and they'll be prioritized for your experience, to give you the best experience, to give your customers the best experience. I wanted to also go back and show you a different homepage, right? So that way you kind of get a feel for, here's what the content looks like. Here's what the homepage is looking like. This is another example, right? In this, we're advertising toward a younger demographic, right? Maybe the kind of demographic that pulls their cash back out with $5 or $10 increments. In this case, she just bought a coffee with it. What a great purpose for cash back, right? I can get my morning coffee with it. So it just shows you how versatile this landing page will be. And here is a collection that is actually a category, right? So we'll have many categories on the site, as we already do, but now we'll have collections around those categories. And so, again, we may have the same merchants in these collections for everyone, but that ordering, that prioritization, will be meaningful to your personalization. I also wanted to cover that it's not just events and categories, but it's also things like a fashion moment, right? Like this is a new fashion, the bohemian style. Well, we can make a page for that, a collection for that. So we'll be able to spin up collections for any purpose, which means we'll be able to personalize things and personalize collections to the user. I wanted to address search as well. So with search, we've powered that. We will allow you to search merchants with type ahead, so that way as you're auto-completing. And our website does that now, but we're going to improve upon that. We're also going to improve upon the amount of search results we're doing. In the future, we'll even be looking at combining products into that search, right? So that way when you're searching for a product that a merchant offers, boom, that merchant is showing up. We're also going to be including site navigation in the search. So when a person, you say, how would you get to this page? And they say, well, I use the search. And you say, well, you could just click it. Well, that person might use the search. We're going to meet them where they're at. So that search result will show up from the site navigation. So we'll be doing all sorts of things to make the whole site searchable, all of our content searchable. And we've got a lot of data, like Nick was telling you. Oh, and remember how I was talking about sharing? It's not just sharing. Every time you share, it is a referral. And so you can get $5 cash back, or you get $5 cash back when your new customers join, and when they earn $25 in cash back within the first 90 days. And this is not just a one-time thing. You can get this over and over and over again. So think of how that cash back works. And not only that, but when you share that email, it automatically It means that you don't just get your cash back. Your customers don't get just their cash back. Gamification means you can earn your way to doubling your cash back. I want to show you what that gamification looks like. So, here you can see, basically you've got your meter, and you get to earn your way to the top, right? And so you say, well, Kirk, gosh, my new user signed up. I don't want them to have to work once they signed up. Well, guess what? For the first 3 months, new users get a maxed out maximum cashback. What you also see here is, even using a like button or sharing on Twitter or just using the site in general. Everything you do will earn you more points. All of those points earn you more cashback. And you're going to be blown away with what we carry out through this. This is going to be one of our major gearings for how we introduce new things, how we incentivize our users to do more with our site. And the more sharing you do, the more engagement we do, the more gamification points you get, the more savings you get. So I wanted to show you where this actually fits on your dashboard, right? So here's your new dashboard. What you got on the side here is your cashback growing over time. You've also got detailed transactions. And believe me, we are focusing on this page and we will be making it an excellent tool for you that has all the information you need. Off to the right, you'll see that we're offering even a blog article just in line. So you'll see that we're making these engagements across the site. So it doesn't feel like a dry Excel spreadsheet, right? It feels like an experience. You say, I've got my cashback on the left, and I know what I can do with it on the right. And then as you see, there's the cashback down there too. So, let's talk about referrals, right? Remember how we talked about those $5 referrals? Well, it's not just those $5 referrals. You can actually turn it into a business. And we will be providing tools to turn your referrals into a business. So the product allows for the ability to create shared referral links and to track those links with high specificity. So you can get analytics on everything that your people are doing. You can create new links for everything you do. Right? So let's say that I'm a BA and I create a YouTube video. I can make a new link, right? And I can put it on that video. And then I can see specifically when people watch that video and click that link, what stores did they go to? I know that now. Where did they actually go? I know that. And not only that, this is showing my group overview of all of my links. Well, we did more. You can actually dive into the detail of any link, and you can get detailed analytics on just that link. And not only that, but we'll allow grouping in the future too. So you can say, here are all of my YouTubes, here are all of my Twitters. How do they do over time? And so with that, I'd like to bring Nick back up on stage, and he's going to cover
on the majority of your minds is when. And because I'm a sadist, I will not answer that question. I'll leave that to Michael for later. The other thing that I want to mention is we'll be watching. When we launch this, when you're notified, we will be watching. The entire team will be back in our offices, watching the monitors, seeing how you experience the site for your first time, and then we fully expect to see the influx of your customers. And we're ready. We've also left a few things as surprises for you. We want to spoil all of it. But look forward to the best login and registration experience you can imagine. By phone, by email, by social network. It will not be a problem for your customers. It will not be a pain point for your customers. Look forward to that. There are other surprises. We expect you to find them. And we expect to see how much you use them. And just as we expose more analytics to you all, we'll be tracking everything. The other thing that Kirk did not necessarily mention is that we'll be testing it. This is all data-driven. This is the launch. This is the seed. This is the starting point. We'll be trying new variations. We'll be trying new personalization algorithms. And as we see the success in a specific region, in a specific language, for a specific merchant, we can then replicate that across the rest You'll not have that issue of the customer registered on the wrong portal. That difficulty is in the past. The country that you tell us is a preference. The language that you tell us is a preference. And the currency that you wish to see things written in is a preference. These preferences are controllable by the users. With ease, they'll be able to say, show me merchants that are in the US, show me merchants that are in India, show me merchants that are in Greece. I don't care. You're the merchant, you're the customer. What do you want to see? The system won't lock these people into a corner anymore. And that, again, comes back to the fact that this is meant to be a truly global cashback product. The final piece that I wanted to mention, we got our 6 goals when we were designing this product as a tech team. There's a 7th. It's a little, I don't know how to say, difficult to measure, but it's flawless. Our goal is to make this experience as flawless as possible for every participant. The business user who is referring more and more users to the partner program, the blogger, the customer, the mother who just wants to save on her groceries. Flawless execution is what the team is striving for. It may be difficult, we may slip up, when we do, we'll strive. But know that our goal is for a perfect, flawless execution of this product. And we're striving towards that.
It's a register. You don't have to figure out what was your password. You don't have to do any of that.
You download the mobile app, you open it, you shop, and you get your cash back.
So Nick's exactly right. That's 2, ladies and gentlemen, 2. 2 clicks to cashback. 1, open the app. 2, get your cash back. Right? Get your cash back. 2 clicks. The whole point is, the device is your unique registration. Right? So, we don't really know who you are, but we know that the device in your hand, your mobile device, is unique to you. So we'll say, okay, that's unique. You can earn cash back with that because it's unique. Now I want to show you, when you pop open the app for the first time, you can see that we have the iOS and Android. You pop that app open, and immediately you're shown those local events. Those events that are there for your personalization. So, off the bat, we don't know who you are. But we'll know trends from devices. We'll know trends from regions. And we'll start with that. We start with what we know with personalization. And then from there you can see, when you go into an event, how it feels. Now, like Nick was mentioning, these are experiences, right? Experience is not only on the website. Experience is on the mobile phone, in the browser extension, and on any other medium as priority puts it there. The point is, this is the same event collection that I was showing you on the website. So you'll see that this is just a different form factor for the same thing. Right, now I want to show you. You can slide to the side and go from events into categories. Now again, repetition, repetition, repetition. It's the same everywhere. So you've got those same categories right here. You've got that category collection. And again, it's personalized and sorted to show you the best above the fold experience. Now again, I use the term above the fold, and that means what you see when you open the app. Right? And if I click into one of these categories, you can see here about the airline and flights. Right? So this would be going into one of those categories. And then again, you can swipe to the side and see those merchants. And as I mentioned before, and I stress it only because it's so powerful, but this merchant collection is not random.